you're listening to the Mackay T Podcast. Here are your hosts, Ryan Mackay and T Davis.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. T, I'm upset. I'm hurt. My heart. It's not. Let me.
Brian, stop being dramatic.
Let me
I
rephrase.
think I know what it's going.
Let me rephrase. It's not upset like I'm distraught. I'm just hurt because my girls, they made such a good run.
Now that your girls, Lord Jesus, y'all hear this, people? We done went. Now that his team.
Bless their hearts. They made such a good run and had chances. Oh my goodness. Ari McDonald she didn't have very good shooting night. She made some.
Is this the lefty I like?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you know the backstory on the other two games they played Stanford in the conference season, she shot horribly in both of those games as well. And they lost both of those games by double figures. But this game was a completely different game. Even though she did not shoot well, she made shots when it mattered. And their defense that has been playing, that has been their go-to during the whole tournament run. Because they haven't really just scored at abundance. Their defense has been holding them down. And it played well. And they held Stanford to 54 points, which is a season low for Stanford. And I'm sure somebody's going to fact check that and be like, well, actually,
defense held down to 53, so that's probably low.
And yes, that is the other side of this coin. Ari had a shot at the end. And I know people are going to say, well, she had a girl wide open on the baseline, but at the
she
same
couldn't
time,
see him.
She
looked on there. Two girls was bigger than her, and they had.
Right.
I don't know if they was trapping, but even if she could have saw it, I don't know that she would have been able to get the ball to it, not in time for her to catch and shoot it.
And like Adia said in her post-game press conference, she didn't want anybody but Ari taking that. Ari had brought them there with her offense because she has been playing lights out in the tournament, and it was her shot to take.
Well, I don't know about all that. If she could have passed it, I would have rather have a good shot than.
But like you said, and like I was gonna say, she had no. I don't know that there was a way she could have made that pass because Stanford had girls, 6'4".
There were big girls that kind of trapped her a little bit. I was surprised she could get the shot off. I was like, oh, she might have found a way, and it could have. That could have been one of them, just like UCLA hit the backboard and went in because it was a good. It hit the rim.
It was close. But Ari finishes off her Arizona career with the
she a senior.
Yes.
I should have known she was an old head. Go ahead.
Pac-12 Player of the Year this past year. She was 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Pac-12. 93 straight games scoring double figures, which is a pretty good feat.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously led her team to the national championship appearance this year, first in school history. Adia Barnes, just some notes on her, the coach, took over in 2016. In 2018, she won 6 games as head coach of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
In 2019, she took a team all the way and won the WNIT championship.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously,
see, Brian, this is the road. Ole Miss, I was trying to get y'all that WNIT championship, get that good feeling, get you some more players. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And obviously, 2020 was a wash season, and then you had this year. Stanford.
So actually, that kid could come back if she wanted to.
Could, but she is already, and that's what.
No, I mean, I didn't think she would. She don't had a great run. She better go to the WNBA now. Go ahead.
Yeah, she's already announced, and I believe she got engaged at some point, either this season or last.
Kids, stay single. Don't enjoy your life. Don't get no tied down to nothing. Do what you want to do in your sport and enjoy. Okay, go ahead.
For Stanford, it's the first national championship in 29 years. Their last one coming in 1992. That's a pretty good feat, considering that Tara Vanderbilt has been there this entire time. That just shows you this. you can have sustained winning because she has. I mean, she's the winningest
Yeah,
coach.
they've been there. They've been in the talks.
Yes,
for years and years and years.
Still that have that bigger gap to win it. So it just shows you the things that people like Gino that seem to be winning it every other year and things like that. Those kind of feats are really impressive when you look at something like this.
Well, he had just that great run. I don't think that's gonna be the same anymore. People not as scared of them right now.
No, it's definitely.
And a part of that was like people would get on the court and they had a 10-point lead because just the aura of
who they
UConn.
were, right? And that's
Because Arizona was not in any shape, form, or fashion like, oh, we playing UConn.
And another good stat from the game, Stanford, that is, became the first team ever, men or women's, in NCAA tournament history to win both the semifinal and their final game by 1 point. That's pretty cool.
Okay, well that's just I don't know how that's a stat. Anyway,
listen, people.
Not you. I'm saying the people. Somebody told you that. I'm sure.
I
don't know what that's a
to
stat.
research stats like that. So it's impressive.
Oh, we were the first to win by 1 point in both our games. Oh, and that's all it take to win. This is what I looked at the stats and I was like, okay, well, everyone shot atrociously, and I don't know if that was because of Stanford's defense or what. And then I was like, okay, but they played great defense because they forced 21 turnovers. Stanford, I'm surprised they won with 21 turnovers, but I guess they were either out of bounds. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that's what kept Arizona in the game. I mean, it's like, and they forced some, but a lot Stanford just threw away.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, some of these must have been unforced errors where they couldn't get in transition and score off these opportunities. And then you got 12 steals, so I was like, some of them were like, I don't know where they happened on the court, but if you got 12 steals, that's part of that 21 turnovers. Stanford out rebounded them. So I was like, I mean, I can see why this was close. Nobody shot the three well. Stanford only shot 2 free throws. That's interesting. Not sure how that happens ever. That you don't get to the line. What were they shooting a lot? Jump shot something? How do you only get to the line twice?
Yeah,
well, not actually once, because unless they were 1-and-1s and somebody missed the front end of both.
There were some things, and the referees were letting them play but they didn't. Stanford's not a driving team. They're a bunch of jump shooters and.
But Brian, one
I
person.
know. I said the same thing when
shocking.
they took their first one and they made mention of it being their first free throw on TV. I said, "Wow."
And that was their last one too. 15 assists on 24 shots. I think the part of Arizona, if I'm just looking at the stats, which I often do, even in the in the NBA, I normally like, let's see what the stats say. 5 assists on 17 shots. That means y'all is playing too much 1-on-1. Which that might just be their style of play. I haven't seen Arizona, but in highlights.
Yep.
So, congratulations, Trees. Arizona, enjoy this. It's hard to get to the Final Four, let alone to this championship game. And Tara, to tell you, after her long hiatus, it's hard.
I mean, she's been to Final Fours, but to not have won a championship. I mean, your last championship was 29 years ago. To have that big a gap, and the fact that she's still with that team, and she's the winningest coach in history of the women's game. That's awesome. That's awesome that she can be that successful, and have that big a gap between championships.
Yeah, and then so just understand when you get these moments, cherish them, whether you win or lose, because you may not be back. And I learned that from reading John Thompson's book because he talked about how he went early, and then there was this long, like he went, lost, went, won, went again, lost, and then it was this long stretch. I don't know that they've been back in a long time. I don't know that he ever went back.
I don't think he did. Because even with
Allen Iverson,
they got put out.
Did he make it with Alonzo Mourning? Did they do a good run? So either way, it's a long.
If I remember correct, I think Alonzo was on the team that Princeton upset. That but that's when the
Well, I think
Princeton
they won
offense
by one
became.
or something crazy, but maybe that was the thing. Either way, the point of it is when you go, it's hard to get there. It's hard to
Yes.
get there, and I know that this is how I know I would be thinking if I was South Carolina, man,
Oh, we.
man.
Uh,
Like you, like man, I know we could have beat them. Like that's just the
yeah.
mindset of, and
And
they
they're
like you
all
said, they lost to them by one.
they bring everybody back. South Carolina didn't graduate anyone. They're
So,
yeah,
but they may not make it back. They had been, what's it? They won in what 17,
17.
and then we had the pandemic, but they hadn't been ever. That was their first time going, right?
They been once before. I think UConn beat them. I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right. But then UConn got upset by
State in
Mississippi
17.
State, yeah, and they beat State for it all. Anyway, cherish the moments. You don't know what's gonna happen. Kids get hurt. Knock on wood. I don't want nobody kids to get hurt, or now they get into the transfer portal because they couldn't wait 1 year to just to play.
Yes, and there's right now more kids in the transfer portal than there will be spots next year. Bless their hearts.
It- I don't even want to talk about transfer portal.
Yeah.
Who you got tonight for the men?
Whoo, boy, let's just transfer right on over into that. We got Gonzaga and Baylor. Uh,
Have
and
either one of them won this thing ever?
Gonzaga never has, and I think Baylor's
Baylor might
making
have
their
won.
first. They're making their first Final Four appearance as well. So I think
So
Gonzaga might have
somebody
made the
gonna be
Final
the
Four.
first time in their school history.
I believe so. Yeah, this will be that.
And Gonzaga, if they win, it'll be the first time in a long time that somebody was undefeated all the way through.
Yes, indeed.
I feel like somebody said 79 or some crazy number. I was like, wow. Yeah. I don't think I care about being undefeated. I just want,
Well,
because I would hate to lose this game right here to
79,
be, be your one
79,
loss.
Indiana State was undefeated until Magic and them got them. So that because
Yeah. And that's,
they had this they were showing this the other day on TV, all the games that a team had a chance to be undefeated in the championship and were
mhm.
defeated, and that was one of the first one they showed.
So it was 79. I thought somebody said something about 79 was the last time somebody went into it undefeated or something like that.
Yeah.
I just know that this ain't the one game you want to lose. Baylor looked good,
Baylor
and
looked, and honestly, like Kelvin Sampson said in his post game press conference, I, there was nothing else we could do. I mean, we our defense, we held them to, you know, 78 points or whatever, and my goal was to hold them between 70 and 75. So we did almost right where I wanted, and we just couldn't score, and they couldn't. Baylor just shut them down. They got 59 points. Whew.
well, so I'm not necessarily talking about even Houston. I'm talking about. So I'm not saying that I would be a great scout, but I think I would be a good scout. I it's it was the way they were playing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, and not because Houston wasn't a match really. Like it was good, like he said, for Houston to even be able to hold in the 70. But the
Right.
way they had, you could see the kid. I don't know his name, but I was like, okay, he the leader of the team. Like I was like, I could point that out. You got your good, decent shooter with the mullet. And I want him to cut his hair if he can as soon as possible. But that might be his thing. I don't know. Mullets, there's a whole thing about mullets, and they have competition in these little towns for mullets. Now I haven't seen Gonzaga, but I just saw that y'all gave up 90 points to UCLA, and they ain't saying UCLA. No, you can't get that up to Baylor. Y'all better bring y'all defense because they gonna run y'all out the gym.
Yeah, Gonzaga has been playing well, but they're into a nice UCLA team who's got 2 stars on it. UCLA should not have been an 11 seed. I mean, they just shouldn't have. They faltered during the year some, and that's why they were an
Well,
11
then that's
seed.
why you 11 seed, Brian. We can't
Yeah,
help that.
but they have 2 flat out NBA, first rounders on their team, and
You talking about Curly Afro? The Asian American kid. Who I just was like, oh, he looked like he was black to me, but whatever. If y'all say Asian American,
But
I don't know.
Gonzaga, they're not going to be able to allow Baylor to just run them up because Baylor's going to beat them to death. So
yeah, they better tighten up on that defensive end because it should be fun. It should be fun.
Have you seen the videos of the people of the UCLA fans? I got to send you some. The reactions. There's one group I think it's a couple of Asian Americans. They're watching the game and they're celebrating and they're so excited when the kid from UCLA ties the game and they're just jumping up and down. We're going to double overtime. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, you're
and
not.
All of a sudden, Jalen Suggs knocks it
and
in.
the kid did a good job of not just giving a clean shot. One of their kids kind of stood there, but he didn't want to foul, but he put his hands up.
Yeah.
And I was like, well.
And then there was another one with a girl either at a party or a bar. I couldn't tell, but she's like all excited. She's jumping up and down. Her UCLA Bruins are gonna go to double overtime. She's all excited about it, and then just the look of horror on her face when Suggs hits the shot.
That's the sadness about basketball. It's sad. It's good. You got a 50% chance of winning, which is good. 50%, like that's a good percentage. But then you got a 50% chance of losing.
But the picture of the tournament, if I could find it, I forgot to save it when I saw it on Twitter, but if I can find it again, I'm going to send it to you. The picture of the tournament, when Jalen Suggs hits the shot, he jumps up on the table like Kobe has done, like Dwayne
that's
Wade.
classic. He don't look that Kobe down.
And he's got his hands like this, and he's yelling at the crowd, and the crowd is nothing
a bunch of cardboard
cutouts.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, who is he screaming at? When I saw it, I was like, who is over there? Because this gym ain't got a lot of people in.
If that isn't just the tale of the past 2 seasons and how the virus has affected things, that was beautiful. Because it was a moment. He had his arms out and he's yelling at the crowd, and it's nothing but cardboard.
And I think a part of it is, in his mind, he don't play that. You be in the backyard, be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit it. I'm finna do my Kobe impersonation or whoever.
Yeah.
And it just happened. Okay, so question: who do you pick up full court? Because nobody really seemed to be trying to guard him necessarily. Do you call a timeout? Do you say, all right, we're not finna just let them get a straight? Because it was you knew it was 3 seconds.
Here's what I do. Because the men don't have that advanced ball rule, whoever call it, doesn't matter who, whatever. If I have a young team, I'm calling a timeout and I'm explaining to them, we got to pick up, we got to have somebody on. Do not make him turn.
Just
make him
straight
turn.
pass into the ball.
There's no straight pass. If I have a veteran team, I've already had that conversation with my guards, and they know that if they score, we got to pick up full court. If we score, we tie the game. We got to pick up full court. We can't let them take a straight shot.
Because he got a straight running line so he could get momentum and pull. And I was like, well, do you call a timeout and say, all right, we picking up and make them think about it. Yeah, they can run a play, but usually plays don't work.
Right.
So I was like, because who was that we were talking about? You got a foul, Florida. Somebody.
Yeah, Mike White. When they played Virginia Tech.
And I was wondering if anybody had some kind of conversation around, what do you just let this happen? Because you got a chance to say, after this free throw, I want a timeout. Now I don't know if they had any or not. They may not have had any.
Right.
So I'm not necessarily second guessing the coach, but I'm just curious because these things happen quite often in basketball, and I know coaches have a lot on their brain, but just was curious. So who did you got? Who you got? Didn't you make a bracket? No, I'm just.
Oh no, I picked Gonzaga to win it all. I did.
Okay, that's why I was curious. I was like, what you him in the
I actually had this very championship game. Speaking of, thank you for asking me. I am the tournament bracket, the challenge
Oh
champion in my
God.
group.
Here we go.
Henry, this is for you.
Henry.
We are the champions. Yes, we are the champions.
And we keep on fighting to the end.
Yes.
Bro, did they do the ball is tossed? The game is.
They don't do one that they have.
What?
They don't do one of those for the women, which drives me nuts. I didn't even got to be that. It could be another version of it if you
No,
want.
it needs to be that.
It does, but I mean, something. Do something. Because I mean, and they did a little bit of a highlight film that they put on Twitter, where, but I mean, there's just so many moments in
that's
this
so disappointing. Yes, this was one of the better ones.
Because Texas A&M, you could have the little girl in the post-game press conference when they beat Iowa State after she hits the game winner, and she's crying, talking to Holly Rowe, and she's saying, just her teammates believed in her, and they trusted her.
There's plenty of shining moments.
So many moments.
Come on, man.
And I don't know if CBS has monopoly on that song at this point. I don't know.
Well, there's plenty of artists out here that would love to make their own version of.
Yeah,
it may not be called one moment,
and it would have been perfect to get a woman artist to do it.
Call Beyonce. Hey, B.
You had Sierra in the crowd. You kept showing her Russell Wilson every time.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson
call
sister
Sierra
did something.
somebody be like, hey, we need a song for the women.
Let's
do it for the girls.
Every time Russell Wilson's daughter, and bless her heart, she's a great player. But every time she sneezed, they showed Russell in the crowd.
Well, that's the thing you do, Brian. You have to show the stars that stars are coming out, because they always show Jack Nicholson on the front row. They always make sure you knew that the stars came to these games.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying they don't do this on the men's side. They do. Bill Murray, every time his son, like his son's at Louisville now, but every time his son, I think, gosh, where were they before? Providence or one of those schools like that. He was an assistant coach on that staff, and every time his team be playing, you see Bill Murray every little break in action. But
so yeah, they need to get that song done though, because I'm disappointed. I didn't know that wasn't the thing. I guess I should know since I've been playing and all, but I just thought that there was a thing. Yeah. That it was just a thing, Brian. I thought they did it for everybody. That's disappointing. That's just disappointing. Not better than this. I'm sorry.
But moving on, let's do just a quick review of the new trailer.
What we got after that? Because we really didn't talk about the lineup today.
The what?
Lineup today.
I was going to do a review of the Space Jam trailer, then Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Space Jam. Yeah. Okay, one thing, Brian. I don't know why y'all and they seem to be showing black men. I don't know, but every video I don't seen has been some black man attacking some Asian person. I don't know what this is about and what's going on. Somebody needed to find out something. But this is getting outrageous. It'd probably been outrageous if I was Asian and knew more about it. But the videos I've seen, I'm like, what is going on? Like, are we missing something? Like, the man attacked the lady outside of, I don't know where it was. It looked like the camera was in a business or something. He pushed the kicked her, and then the man walked to the door, Brian, and just closed
and shut the
door.
Did
you say you saw it?
Yes, I saw it.
What? Because at first I was like, well, because they said I don't think they got fired, but they got in trouble or something. And I was like, wait a minute, you can't make bystanders intervene. We would we would love for them to do so. But then I was like, wait a minute, they didn't have to really intervene. They could have went out and helped the person. Because I don't know if it was a man or woman. I couldn't tell that. But I was like, okay, wait a minute. You just saw what happened to them, and you're not going to even go out or pull your phone out and call the police or call an ambulance or nothing and go see if they're okay. You just going to close the door slowly like you just didn't see somebody get pushed and kicked. I don't know what's going on. We're Brian. Did you see the video I sent you? I'm switching gears very quickly because it's almost a rant chant. Brian, did you see the girl with the gas washing her car?
Yes.
Brian, the word comes to an end. You get your house in order, people. Do it today, and don't delay because Brian, she was putting gas all over her car.
Yeah, it's
Brian. And she had used her hand on. I was like, she don't smell that that's gas. Like, what is happening? My mama thinks she was high. Shout out, mama. What?
And for people that don't know, Shula King on YouTube, follow him. He's hilarious. His videos and just his commentary is what really makes those videos as special as they are.
See, I don't listen to the commentary. I listen. Look at the picture, and that's you. I see the picture, and that just be enough for me to be like, let me send this on. So I saw the video, and I don't even recall really what he said. I was shocked because first I was like, oh, this like why ain't no water hardly coming out of that. She needs to go to another, bay, because I thought she was at a car wash, do it yourself. Right. But then I said, then the camera panned over a little bit, and you could see the tank. I was like, that's gas. What the world? The world is falling apart. I don't know. Yeah. And to keep going, Brian, this police officer, man is in the back of the car, handcuffed. I don't know what or care what he did. He must have hit him, or he was like the man that was the black man, and I have to preface this because it was a white officer, black man, and not that black officers aren't bad or can't be bad, but in this case, this is who it was. He was like, "You hit me with them cuffs like that was brass knuckles." So the officer, he trying to get him out the car. He leaning over. He is in the quote unquote suspect. He grabs him because when he leans over, his hands are covered behind it. He tightens the cuffs, and you can tell he intentionally tightens the cuffs on the man. He drags him out of the car, Brian, steps back, and intentionally closes this man's head in the door. And then he walks up and pulls him more out of the doorway, and then closes the door. And the man is like, "You did that intentionally." And then he, you gonna lose your job and whatever. He was like, I turned my camera on just for you and all this. And I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen with it, but I was like, this is just getting outrageous. We're coming to an end, Brandon. Get y'all house in order. Do it today. All right, go ahead. We're gonna talk about Space Jam's trailer.
Okay, so Space Jam, a new legacy. Honestly, I'm just literally bringing this up in case we have any listeners that did not know the trailer dropped this weekend.
Yes, please go check it out.
It is it's very, very visually appealing. It looks like it's going to be a very good movie.
Please don't let me down, LeBron.
So
please don't.
This is just me and my fandom for Michael is going to show out in my nitpicking.
Oh God!
But I cannot.
Brian, you better than this. You can't help it. You can. You can. You choose
because I'm looking forward to the movie. I think it's going to be great. I can see that LeBron and them have done a very good job, and I'm excited for it. This is my only two nitpicks, and they're very minute. It's not a big deal in the big scheme of things. When he turned to cartoon version of LeBron, I almost came through the screen. I was like, no. But I sat back and I thought about it. When Michael met the Monstars for the first time, they balled him up in a little basketball, and he was a cartoon version of himself for that little bit of time. And so he wasn't always the human Michael in the first Space Jam. So I let myself calm down. I said, okay, calm down. Second nitpick, LeBron don't have not one kid named Dom. Michael used his real kid's name in his movie.
Okay, what they got to do with anything?
I said they were small and minute. They bothered me. I didn't say it had to do anything. I just said it bothered me.
Brian, don't be this person.
I can't help
Don't
it.
be this person.
I can't help it.
I really, if this nails it like this trailer did for me, it's gonna be
awesome.
as good as that one was when it came out. For its time, I enjoyed that because I love cartoons.
Yes.
It's
gonna
Lola
be good.
Bunny.
It's going to be
Bugs,
good as
that
well.
love that. So
Don
if it nails it,
Cheadle,
yes,
Cheadle character. I can't wait to see him in that role.
They did great. So from the trailer, bringing it into the internet and all of this stuff. How that's where he meet Chittle in the internet thingy in the room. LeBron's acting does not seem to be as off as I thought it might be.
Right.
Because you never could tell. And I was just like, the storyline seemed like, okay, we might be going somewhere. We'll see. I've had some trailers where all the good stuff was in the trailer. So I'm gonna hold off on getting too excited about it. But thus far, I got a little tinge of excitement. I like what I saw, Brian. I like what I saw.
Oh, I did too. And honestly, people, I'm really I'm not really as upset at those two things as I seen.
Brian being messy because you're Michael Jordan fan. Don't do that, Brian.
That and I will forever hold that Chicago Bulls ball boy against Mr. James. I will forever hold it.
Well, I'm gonna let it go because that was messy. But I know that he has a space in his heart for the kids. He got a whole school for them.
Let me make sure my mic is on. She gonna let it go because he's in purple and gold, people.
No. This has nothing to do with that. I understand that again in Cleveland, he has a whole thing that he's done for kids. He's got the whole bike thing, and I don't think I knew any of that when I saw that video. And I was hot like you. You remember? I was salty, just like you, because I was like, okay, this what? You gonna just toss these clothes all over the place, and this man trying to get them, and you can just hand them to him? I got it. Yeah. But then the person that he has shown himself to be. Again, we don't know these people, and stuff start coming out, and you'd be like, well, I can't believe. Well, I don't know him as a person, but the person that he's shown himself to be seems to be a decent man.
Yes,
very true. We'll see how this movie turned out.
And as far as his acting in this movie, it'd be interesting to see how it really is because by all accounts, I mean, when Michael did Space Jam, Michael was just basically like a passenger into Hollywood. He wasn't gonna be there full time. LeBron actually made the move to go be with the Lakers so he could be a full time Hollywood actor. So we're gonna see how that comes out for him.
Well, I don't know about all that. I know that he wanted his fingerprint in a bunch of stuff, and the best way to be in Hollywood is to be in Hollywood.
And I mean, obviously, the only couple of roles he's had so far, he's played himself. But the role he had in Trainwreck, I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was really good in that role, even though he was playing himself, obviously. But
the Goon Squad looks scary, Brian, and
don't they?
Yeah, they look a lot more scary than the other ones.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be something I can't wait to see. July 19th.
And I'm surprised they even did it. Yeah, July. It's the 19th. I'm surprised they ain't release it around. Hold on, let me see what they say.
Look at me.
Around
mid-July.
4th of July. That's usually when they will release something. When the grandma was doing I don't know what she was doing, the Olympic moves.
That senior citizen discount she got. Hilarious.
That's tweeted because that nobody act like she exists. That's Tweety in them, right? She in that. Okay. And then when he's like, shoot the ball, and Yosemite Sam pulled out the guns and started shooting the ball. I wasn't no good. So again, I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. Don't let me down with this trailer being good, and then I'll just be like, oh man.
I'm glad they gave Granny something to do in this one, because in the original Space Jam, she was a cheerleader. That's all she was.
Yeah, she too old to be out there chilling, but she got a walker, and she can do some gymnastic kind of moves on it.
She swung that body around in that walker.
Go girl.
Go Granny. Go ahead now.
So yeah, that was exciting. I think that's gonna be good. Brian gonna be a hater. He ain't gonna admit to the truth of it if it's as good as it can seem like it can be.
Oh, I'm fully expecting it to be good. I've had no bones
I
about
didn't
it.
know what I didn't know what, Brian. I was like, what is happening? Why are we taking so long? But we'll see. I know they wanted to get it in the movies, just like we've been waiting for. Not to use we loosely because I don't know how many 007 fans out there, but waiting for that one to come out because they holding on to it like it's their last $2. Last $2, not gonna lose. Oh, you might not know that song, Brian. These last $2. Shout out to my people that know what that is. My last $2.
Let's
One for the
roll.
bus stop, one for the jukebox, and to hear some blues. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hmm, uh, let's roll on into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 3, Power Broker. We learn a little bit more about the Global Repatriation Council, the GRC. They're in place to help those who've been blipped back into existence, although they're not as good, in quotations, as I say, as they seem. As we find out, they have refugees slash displaced people in what is the equivalent of kind of concentration camps, where they're being overpopulated and people are dying of disease. The Flag Smashers and their role in this, they're kind of like a Robin Hood esque group. Um,
They were Brian
they
until.
were,
Go ahead.
and that, I have that in my notes. And
I was gonna say, but then
yeah,
I was like, well, they.
until
But
Carly,
that went out the window.
Carly goes full heel turn, and she has that car blow up that GRC spot that they just raided for medical supplies.
And
Uh,
people in there. And that's
yeah,
what the
people.
guy's like.
Yes,
People were in there.
right. He was shocked when she did that. Um, Bucky and Sam, or Bucky, break Zemo out of prison. They to help track down who's behind the super soldiers. The
Hmm.
three of them head to Madripoor, which is a lawless country. The camera, when we get into Madripoor, lingers on the Princess Bar, and I found out that that is a Easter egg for Wolverine. In the comics, Wolverine when he goes into this Princess Bar, he uses the alias name Patch,
Mm.
and it's kind of like an Easter egg for that as well, because Sam and Bucky use aliases. Obviously, Bucky has to be the Winter Soldier, and Sam is the Smiling
A
Tiger.
pimp
Or
named
a
Slickback.
pimp named Slickback would be very
That's
good.
what they should have named.
And E-Man on YouTube, in his movie review, he actually called him a pimp named Slickback, and I said, I got to show this to T, because he would love that. So yes, in that little seersucker suit, Lord have mercy. Um, but yes, but like I said, Bucky has to channel his Winter Soldier to get them out of a few sticky situations. They run into Sharon Carter,
Cause Zemo acting like he controlling Bucky. Go ahead.
right? Because they have to play their roles. They run into Sharon Carter, who has been hiding out in Madripoor since she's kind of like a fugitive of justice in the USA. She helps them find Dr. Nagel, who is in charge, who's the one that's been making this super soldier serum. Sam, Bucky, and Zemo question Dr. Nagel in his lab, while Sharon Carter basically fends off a bunch of men outside. Nagel is shot by Zemo after, a bunch of discussion and this, that, back and forth. Lab catches fire and eventually is blown up. We go back to, we saw him in the beginning of the show. I didn't bring this up, but we go back to Fake Cap, and Battlestar, who continue to kind of retrace Bucky and Sam's steps as they're now in the prison where Zemo has escaped from. And they kind of put two and two together that the two Avengers are the ones that helped him escape. So they're just constantly, kind of following in their footsteps, trying to see how
And
far they can get.
dude getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Cause he said something and I was like, dude, you not no Captain America. And I don't know why they tried to bamboozle us like you thought you was a good guy at the beginning and you was so humble. Cause you are so arrogant.
Mhm.
Ugh. Go ahead.
So, in the final scene, which is the biggest one in my mind in the whole episode, um, it was actually set up earlier in the show when Bucky got Zemo out of prison. Sam questions his move, saying, "Do you think that was a good idea? What do you think Wakanda's going to think about you breaking out the person that killed their king. You breaking them out of prison. Well, Bucky breaks away from the group. It says he wants to take a walk. He notices a couple of camellia beads along his route, and eventually, Io reveals herself. Io is part of the Dora Milaje. She is actually the first member of the Wakandan warrior group that we meet back in Civil War when she steps in between Black Widow and T'Challa outside the car at the embassy and
This
move
ain't
or
what
you
you
will be
want.
moved. She said, "Move or you will be moved."
This ain't what you want. That what you meant in American language. This
That
ain't what you
too.
want.
Yes. Well, Io tells Bucky that she is there for Zemo, and that's how the episode ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian, you know what I'm gonna do today, Lord's willing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a moment. I got to go back and watch both of them, or maybe three of them. I don't think I'm gonna watch three of them. Just the last two, because I just can't. I can't.
I was gonna bring this up. I was gonna because I know you had a
I've
bunch
struggled.
of you was upset after we watched this episode, and after watching it the second time, and people when me and T watch it, we watch it together, and we're talking through it. We missed some things.
Right.
When I watched it the second time, and the video I sent you as well will help kind of break down.
So I should watch the video first
to get a
so I can know what's
we
going
were
on.
struggling with where they're going. Like
right, I was like, I don't know what we doing here.
Mm-hmm.
We just watching a show. Like it's almost like you could watch this and not have ever seen the Captain America, because none of it seems to. I mean, obviously, I guess it would be helpful to know that this dude is a fake Captain America. That one we keep calling him. I don't care what your mama call him. I'm calling fake Captain America.
Cap.
The fake Captain America he's arrogant, egotistical. He don't mind cursing, which I'm like the old Captain America language. I was like, where are we going? I don't trust Zemo as far as I could throw him.
Nope.
And at first I thought he had already bamboozled them when he ran off, when he blew up the thing and ran off, but then he didn't. That don't mean he still won't double cross him, but
yeah. Now, how does he just have a car out there waiting? That was my question.
Yeah, then they messed up because, well, you said it go along with his regular storyline. It doesn't go along with the guy that we met in Silver Arm. What was it called?
It's Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, because that guy was sitting there. Oh, he did all that because he lost his family and he knew it was Silver Arm's fault or whatever. Not Silver Arm. He knew it was the Avengers' fault in general. He was mad at all the Avengers apparently, and then in this one now he's super rich, come from like Bruce Wayne something, got all these cars and all these fighting skills, and I'm just like, where did this come from? But the people that's in comic world understood it more than if Brian hadn't told me, I was just lost.
So there's a point when I think they're on the final trip of the plane that they take on the show, on the episode, where Sam and Bucky are discussing Isaiah Bradley. Zemo is listening in. You can see the look on their face like, oh, there's another super soldier out there. Because, he don't like those type. He's trying to get rid of all, all superheroes and things like that. So that's going to come back into play. And they honestly, coming into this show, they said that race was going to play a big part. And obviously they teased it when we see that Isaiah Bradley's, a black Captain America that they just kind of erased from history. But they got 3 episodes left. Are they gonna just spend?
Yeah, they gonna. I hope they don't speed through them and be like, okay, this ain't. Y'all went too fast. Y'all should have took y'all time.
So
they have, like they set the bar high with old girl.
WandaVision. Yeah,
they set the bar really high, and so this is not meeting the level of expectation, people. Maybe y'all gonna finish with a bang. Y'all better, because then I don't know how or when they gonna release my other girl, Romanoff, Natasha.
That has come out as well. It is officially
Lord.
July 9th.
Okay, it's coming out.
and it's going to be a dual release. It's going to be Disney Plus, Premier Access, and in the theaters.
So, I think that's gonna probably be a good one. Y'all, this don't let us down with this one. You can't bet 1,000. Y'all, it's okay. I'm gonna take a step back. Maybe you don't hit a good. You might get on first base with this one because y'all had some home runs. One division was a triple. You had people on all the bases and you knocked it out the park.
Yes.
This right now, you just bunt it. You running. We don't even know if you're gonna make the first base before the pitcher get to the ball and throw you out. We'll see. This is what I'm hoping for. You get in the first base, pitcher get the ball, he throw it, but he overthrow the first baseman. So then you might get to a double because of an error. That's the best I can hope for right now. Because right now,
so proud of you. I am so proud of you because we didn't discuss it. We didn't discuss the fact that opening day for baseball happened the other day. We didn't discuss it, but I'm so proud of you for using the baseball now.
Thank you. I try because I don't know a lot about baseball, but I know enough to know like what I'm watching and what's happening. So that's what I'm thinking. That's how I'm feeling right now. If this bunt can turn into a get to second base, I'll feel good about it. Right now, it's just like, oh man,
because we get to second, we want
right.
We
if you get to
second,
then anything can happen. You might get knocked at home or somebody come up and just
then all they got to do is just hit it to the outfield.
And get you to third and see what can happen. But right now, we in between home and first. It's a bunt. We don't know. That's how I'm feeling about it.
We don't know how fast the pitcher is. Is he gonna be able to get to the ball to throw us out?
Right. Because if it really has to happen, Brian, or start, the momentum of it has to happen Friday.
Yeah,
otherwise there ain't but two left.
We gotta hit it. We gotta hit it on Friday because it's gotta get.
They gotta get it. You gotta get on to get that error. Him overthrowing the first baseman, and you might got a chance. Speaking of Georgia out here, I'm back to my thing. Georgia out here with these stupid rules. You can't give people water. You can't give them food if they stand in line. Ain't no voting on Sunday. You gotta do this between 9 and 5. Well, Major League Baseball said, guess what? We ain't coming down there with y'all out here with this voter suppression that y'all trying to name it something else. Go ahead and tell
it. They're trying to make that a response to, in their mind, is a response to voter fraud. No, what this is a response to the voter turnout they had. They didn't like the fact that all those black people got,
Thank you for calling what it was. All the black counties that these
voter turnout, not voter fraud, because there was no voter fraud. They have no evidence, and even
the guy that was overvoting down there was like, this was a fair election.
Yeah,
nothing, no voter fraud, nothing. It was a fair election.
Even the attorney that Code 45 had out there telling his lies admitted that she was lying. And she said no reasonable person would think that anything I said was because she got caught up in that Dominion lawsuit.
And they want their $1 billion.
But yes, this was not a response to voter fraud. This was a response to voter turnout.
And so the problem is they have already passed the law. I don't know if they're going to backtrack or what'll happen, but we shout out Roland Martin. Not that he listens to us, but he already had somebody on his show said they trying to do something similar to that in Florida, which means it's going to happen in Pennsylvania and all these states where it was close and he lost. And so, this is the first good move. I mean, states ain't trying to lose money like that. And if you be like, oh, well, your Super Bowl will never be there and the All-Star game was there already, but we won't be coming back. And because that's how they got North Carolina, they put some pressure on them. Remember, NCAA was like, no, we're not coming up there when y'all got these gender things that they was having around the bathroom. I forgot exactly what it was. But
truth be told, this how Mississippi finally got on their high horse and
them kids started saying they were gonna play and stuff.
They took everything. There was no NCAA
said they weren't coming
to be
down
played. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they make a lot of the money they make is from tourism from that. People coming to them games. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Have you been watching any of Chauvin case?
Here and there. I haven't watched a whole lot of it.
It's Brian, it's a lot. I haven't watched it all because it's a lot. It'll weigh on you. You see these people crying and saying how they feel guilty. And then you say, well, all it takes is for one of them to be like, well, whatever, it was sad, and just be like, but because they bring up, and the prosecution is doing a good job of going ahead and then being like, oh, y'all not gonna try to be like, oh yeah, he was a drug addict. We gonna say it already. So they brought up his girlfriend. She said both of them were on opioid addicted, and so they bringing out everything. They not letting them. They actually getting us say we gonna control the narrative, and he's a human. None of this should have happened. Even an officer came up and was like, the amount of time that he was on, or they were on George, was not reasonable after you use the certain techniques to get somebody subdued or whatever. But after he stopped moving and fighting, they should not have kept his knee on his neck. And they had even his supervisor, to my recollection, came on and was like, George Floyd them lied to him. He said he didn't realize from the way it was covered in, because I watch Court TV. It's a show that kind of breaks down what happened each day. Because like I said, I can't just watch the whole case. I can't do it.
Right.
And the guy was like, apparently when certain things happen, they have to call the chief or the sheriff or like the head person in the department. And he said he was not told that they were on him that long, nor basically that he had died. He basically died on the scene.
Yeah.
And they have to do we got to take him to the hospital, and he'll be pronounced dead by a professional doctor
the
or whatever.
protocol deal.
That's the thing. And I didn't know that the one lady that came up and asked to check his pulse at some point in this whole 9 minutes and 29 seconds, which is another thing. Not that 8 minutes and 46 seconds wasn't long enough, but let's add almost another minute to that.
Exactly.
She came up and she said that she told him she was a firefighter and she just wanted to check his pulse. You see George Chauvin, Derek Chauvin, Derek Chauvin go in his pocket and pull some mace out, like he finna mace her for walking toward. I was like, because I haven't watched the video. Y'all, people that have seen it might have seen all this. I just don't have I don't want my spirit that vexed. So
it'll hurt
you. It's been interesting, and if he gets off, Lord, I don't even know what's gonna happen to Minneapolis if this man get off of this, or if he get a slap on the wrist with some manslaughter. I don't know what the charges of. I think it's 3rd-degree murder and something. I don't know if manslaughter is on the table. It's another charge I think there's a possibility for them to convict him of, but it should be interesting to see. It'd be like, oh, it was the summer of 21. You'd be like, what happened? We had a pandemic, and then we just the summer hit, and
Well, not to go from bad to good, so erroneously.
No, you need some good stuff. You need some good
for
news.
Equalizer fans, last night's episode was very good.
Oh, you saw it? It's on my list too.
Yes, Equalizer. It was probably the best episode so far in my opinion.
Oh, well, that speaks highly.
I don't want to put too much on it.
I like a couple of them. So
they've been good, but I really enjoyed this.
You enjoyed this one? Speaking of Equalizer, what do you know about? And this ain't got nothing to do with Equalizer, but what King Kong and Godzilla
versus Godzilla? Yes.
What? Okay, it had $32 million. It broke the record for pandemic times because it been these movies that's been coming out been in the 5 and 6 millions and being the top seller.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet. One day this week we ought to do a watch party and check it out.
What is it on?
HBO Max.
Oh, well, look at here,
Mhm.
Brian. I don't know anything. I know a little bit about the King Kong story. I don't know anything about Godzilla.
Yeah,
He
I
was
never
shooting some
watched.
fire or something out his mouth, and I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, he got some
I
power."
never watched either of they both have their origin stories. Never
Oh,
watched either one of them. But
okay.
yeah, these people out here, they hard up for that movie.
They must have been waiting forever because I
Yeah.
was like, $32 million. That's quite a few people made it to the movies, unless you had to pay to watch it on HBO, which could have been a thing.
HBO, that's the good. Like that's the one thing. I mean, obviously you're already paying a subscription fee for HBO Max,
Hmm.
but you get like you'll get that movie, you'll get Space Jam when it comes out. Uh, all of those are Warner Brothers properties. All come to HBO Max, so they'll
Okay,
be in the
okay.
theater and they'll be on HBO Max.
Well, they better get to. I think this is gonna be the way for a while. Is doing 2 releases.
Yeah, and I'm glad that Marvel finally decided to do that with Black Widow because I mean you're gonna get to a point where her movie is not gonna be worth showing because you're gonna be done showed so much other stuff. So yeah, I know they were
Yeah,
trying to wait and wait and wait until they get that theater release because they want to get that million. I don't think there's gonna be a movie that gets $1 billion in the box office for a
not
while.
for a while because
Yeah,
first theaters can't be at full capacity in most states. Some of these states don't just release and went crazy, but most people got enough sense to know not to go in no large crowd. I say most, and that's probably too generous. A little bit of us,
yeah,
a few of us. A few of us got enough sense to know we still shouldn't be, even though people get their vaccines and all, shouldn't be running around in crowds and doing like the world is back to 2019. Um, so I wasn't going to movies anyway because that was just a thing. I thought they were dirty. So that just X that out forever for me. Um, yeah,
yep.
that's that.
Do you have any sayings that make no sense?
Oh, oh,
Well,
oh, 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 wait a minute. Wait for it. Hold on.
uh-oh,
Cause hold on, you said one the other day. You didn't
I
write it
did.
down.
I know, no, I have it. I'm ready to go while you get
Okay,
yours
go ahead.
together.
Let me pull my list up.
And this just came to me. It literally is something I say all the time and never pay no attention to it until I sent this text to T in my reference to my Arizona Wildcats. My
Oh my lord. That's
I
what I'm gonna say.
they have a saying in Arizona says "bear down," and I've been championing Arizona this whole tournament run because they were my pick, and I've been sending out people because I've been getting texts all from all kind of people saying you called it, blah blah, as they keep winning, and then my response will be bear down, Arizona, bear down. Have no idea. So I sent this text to T and I said, I guess I should look up and find out what that means while I'm sending that all willy nilly. What is willy nilly? I don't understand why willy nilly is a thing, but that's something I've heard people say, and I've
Brian.
said my entire life about stuff.
First person I heard willy nilly said you entertainer. I
Yes,
was like, Lord.
I think that's honestly where
And
I got it
picked it
from.
up. And I should have left it where it was. But I picked it up.
Yes, I think he's actually who I got it from. To be honest,
Is that it? Willy nilly.
that's my only one. Yes, I
Brian,
apologize.
Brian,
Okay,
you gonna eat them words, Brian.
yeah, alphabets maybe.
Um yeah, what is that? You eat the word? And clearly we understand the context of what it means, but
Yeah.
okay, I can't stand you.
Okay. What?
What is that?
Yeah, that's a
Because
good one.
the context of I can't stand you is like you don't like the person, right?
Right.
But if we were used in the context that I don't understand you, like I can't stand you, like I don't understand you, maybe I could see it, but it's not used in that context. So I'm not real clear what we're doing, Brian. Not real clear what we're doing.
Hmm.
Um, this where the rubber meets the road, Brian.
The rubber meets the road, Lord.
Brian, what are we doing? Why is that I don't even know what to say. This is where the rubber meets the road.
I guess that's where we get
you
started.
don't even know either. I'm just like, I don't even know what they could have.
I'm
like
assuming
car rubber
maybe
on the
they
tires, driving.
I'm assuming maybe that's where the
I'm
where
so
things get
confused
started.
right now.
Because the tires are hitting the road, we getting on our trip. Maybe that's what it means. I don't know.
This is the last one I'm gonna use so I can have some for next week.
Okay.
The chicken's coming home to roost. Brian, where's the chickens going?
Chickens
ain't gonna be out in the street.
Yeah.
What? I hope not.
Well,
I don't know. I ain't living no
the ones that are, then we just asking why did the chicken cross the road? So there you go.
I don't know. Maybe them chickens was doing something else out there. I'm not a farmer. I don't know a lot about farm life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know that that's a saying that I use because I don't really know what it's supposed to. I don't think I understand what it's supposed to mean. Do you know, like the chicken coming home to?
No, but you know
what's going around come around. I think it's the way I think I might have heard it, but I've never used it personally.
I have no idea, but here's what I can do. I can say this. Listeners, if any of you know why the chickens come home to roost, please let us know at the Mac letter N T show at gmail.com or the Mac T show at the Mac T show on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
And Brian, I found out what the rabbit died means. Somebody told me it means you got the girl pregnant.
What time is it?
No.
Yes.
Never would have put that together.
I was like, what? And shout out to my mama. That's who she was like. You don't know? I was like, it makes. She was like, being got the girl pregnant. I was like, that makes no sense. The rabbit died.
That makes absolutely. Now it even makes even less sense than what I was trying to make it make sense the other day.
And so I just Googled it, and it says, the rabbit died used to be a common phrase referring to a positive pregnancy test. It originates, it was around 1920s.
They ain't had nothing else to do. Out there killing rabbits.
Okay, that's all I got.
The
rubber meeting the road and rabbits dying mean pregnancy. I'm not.
We out here giving all these little sayings all willy-nilly. Anyway.
And we out here saying them.
Yeah, we are.
Don't even have no idea. Okay.
But as always, I'm one of your hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T. Hold the God's unchanging hand. The world is coming to an end, Davis.
And this has been the Mackay T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.
This is the Mackay T Show. This is the Mackay T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brian Mackay and T Davis. Yeah. You can't tame us. We're going to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.